Uh-huh. Nice. Yeah, of course. That's your fault. No, it's yours. You're the one who got me into eating sushi. Uh, my stream's up. Uh, just all right, getting rolling. Yeah. Yeah, that's just kind of stupid. I guess that's an option too, although not a, I mean, not an ideal one. Yeah. Is that you or someone else on my stream? Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna get this damn thing to quit making that damn beeping sound. It doesn't matter. It's just my dash cam. A certain part of it makes this alert noise at me, and I don't care for it. So I'm turning it off. All right, it's done. Oh yeah, I'm compiling the footage right now of my delivery yesterday. It was on the stream with but only through the phone, but I have footage through the dash cam as well that I'm going to be uploading um, if, today. I don't know if I'll be doing it while I'm waiting on my shipper. If my load's ready already, then I'm just going to grab it and go. But if I'll be waiting, I'll have time hopefully to post it if I have a good enough connection there. I think it was Carson. Yep. Yeah, and I'm running. If I pick up on time, then I should be able to get it there way early. So either I'll have time to stop at the house before I deliver, or they could try to swap me out too. I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. All right. Love you too. Bye. Okay, just left the Flying J in Amarillo, and I'm now on Loop 335 heading over across the east and north ends of Amarillo, and begin on 287 northbound from there. It's about an hour or so drive from Flying J to the shipper. Load is going to Carson, California. I think that's where it was. Yeah, I know it's going to Southern Cal. I want to say Carson, I just forget. Across Hastings Avenue. take the phone out of the truck to show something about the trailer that I was picking up. And I also have some comparison reviews in work, where I show how different how the different settings on my new dash cam are, what their effects are, how they compare to just the default or the settings that I had running on both my phone and my Garmin dash cam. And of course, you haven't seen it already. I just posted last night, I think it was last night, my review. Really just last night or this morning, whatever it was, my review of the camera as a whole. And the review is kind of a lengthy one, but it's if someone who might be possibly interested in buying that particular dash cam, it's really a lot of really good information that will help really figure out how it operates and what some of the things I like and don't like about it are. Great camera overall from what I've experienced so far. I really like that exterior camera setup. I get shots of what I'm doing outside the truck, as well as what the trailer is doing when I'm doing backing maneuvers too. Westbound on Loop 335 at the moment. Once again on a 287. 5 a.m. when I get there. Hopefully the sun will start coming up, or be at least getting close to coming up by the time I get there. FM 1719. The daytime data compiled, I mean, at least the comparison stuff. I'll probably work on that video today, and then maybe a nighttime comparison video after that. The plane closed ahead just over half a mile. Have it at a half mile
answer views.
This question was.
I've been busily making my corporate career, shuttling between Moscow and US. It was all business, excitement, big deals, stress, business class flights, job, what is work-life balance? Now, I'd make some occasional visits to France because food and impressionists, but didn't really explore or understand the lifestyle much.
Okay, might be a culture
Until
shock.
at one point you start getting disillusioned with the rat race and start questioning the wisdom of everything is secondary to work mentality. Luckily, around this time I discovered Sardinia, fell in love with the island, and was shocked by their lifestyle. The very small town we stayed at the first time had a pizza place that was open from 6 p.m. and a coffee place that was open in the morning until noon or so, WHAAA. But my Starbucks is open 24/7. Pizza place guys hung out in the coffee place in the morning. Coffee place guys hung out at the pizza place at night. Nobody worked 100-hour weeks. Nobody was trying to prove something. Nobody was stressing over making all the money in the world. Those that did left the island. But people were relaxed and happy. And you know what, I grew to appreciate the wisdom of ancient Mediterranean slow-cooking melting pot that adopted and was influenced by multitudes of cultures over thousands of years. Turns out, you don't need to prove anything to anybody. You can enjoy your cappuccino in the morning and freshly caught fish in the evening, looking at Mediterranean Sundance, and doing what you enjoy in between, sharing it with friends and loved ones. And what shocks me now, is that this rat race, media frenzy, SJWS, faster, and don't ask why is still predominant way of life in the Western world. Also, there's no such thing as Europe. Every country is very different in Europe. 174 views, view 2 upvoters. About the author. Anton Antic. BC, AI, CS, Physic R&D, XSVP Strategic Operations at Beam. Former Senior VP, Strategic Operations at Beam Software 2011-2018. MSc Equivalent Physics and Chemical Physics, Novosibirsk State University graduated 2000. Lives in Anchorage, represent. 111.8k content views, 111.4k this month. Knows English. View 100 plus other answers to this question. About careers, privacy terms, contact. Article 20 of 133. Quora. Open an app. Sign in. Where did you sleep most often while you were homeless? Mary Jane Berman. Updated September 28, 2019. Author has 261 answers and 1.1 meters answer views. Honestly, with strangers. Usually men. Usually under the pretense that I was choosing them, but I was choosing shelter and paying for it with the only coin I had at age 14, 15, 16. At the time it was just what I did. When I was older I learned I could work hard and pay my way, without having to be obligated to fuck for a right to be there. I still had sex with way too many men. I was promiscuous all my 20s and 30s, as many of us lost girls were. I have pushed back on that tendency but still equate my worth with my appearance, sexual attractiveness more than I should. It's not vanity, but more an instinctual readiness to have a means by which to survive should my world randomly crumble to nothing beneath my feet. This is a highly unlikely event, yet I'm ever prepared. Bitter smile. I don't regret it. I feel relatively unscathed by my slut period, as in Picasso's blue period, we came out ahead. Alive. And only slightly twisted. Edit, I was very young when homeless. I'm 54 now. Just for context. Edit 2. I just wanted to express my astonished and enormous gratitude for the outpouring of kind support, encouraging words and provocative perspectives this answer has brought about. How utterly amazing you all are to share your thoughts on a topic I have never fully examined in my own life. This community has a respect for differing opinions, and a compassionate and forgiving streak a mile wide. You should all be proud to be such beautiful souls in a remarkable forum. I'm so thankful and truly humbled by all the conversations and upvotes. Thank you so much. It means the world that I was able to expose such a vulnerability as my dark past to a diverse group of strangers, and was met with only the most caring of responses. I send you all much love. 248.1k views, view 3.2k upvoters, view sharers. About the author. Mary Jane Berman. Profane, proud and fucking irreverent. Owner at SBH Services LLC 2011 present. Studied Don't Judge a Book by its cover, phrase. Lives in San Antonio present. 1.1 meters content views 136.2K this month. In other languages. In Spanish. Donde dormía más a menudo mientras estaba sin techo. View 28 other answers to this question. About careers, privacy, terms, contact. By continuing, I agree that I am at least 13 years old and have read and agreed to chorus terms of service and privacy policy. Continue with Google, continue with Facebook. Log and sign up with email. Article 21 of 133. Quora. Open an app. Sign in. As a cop, what's the best excuse given from someone speeding that turned out to be true? Larry Whalen, former police officer, special officer, EMT. Updated October 7, 2019, upvoted by Paul E. Glotzer, lawyer, experienced counselor to U.S. and non-U.S. globally active financial institutions. Author has 520 answers and 752K answer views. I was working for the city of Stanton, CA. And on patrol one night when a car blew past me at 60 plus miles an hour in a 45 mph zone. I lit up my reds, hit the siren and took off after the vehicle. Suddenly, it screeched to a stop so quickly I almost ran into it. I figured this guy had done it on purpose and was ready to go after him as soon as I got to his car, but instead, he jumped out of his car and came running towards me yelling about something I couldn't understand. Thinking he was about to attack me, I pulled my revolver and told him to stop, which he did immediately. As soon as I asked what the hell was wrong with him, he started yelling his wife was having a baby and had to get to the hospital before she had it. When I told him that she was in good hands and to just slow down so he could see her when he got to the hospital, he then told me in a more coherent voice that she was in the back seat and the baby was coming, now. It was then that I heard a loud moan and her yell for him to get back in the car and get her to the hospital, also, now. I ran over to the car, and opened the rear door and saw her lying on the back seat in what I would say was the delivery position. When she saw me, she asked me to please help her because the baby was coming, now. I told her to hang on and that I would contact the hospital to let them know we were on the way, but she said she was crowning. And when I looked, I could see the baby's head. OMG, was all I could think as that kid shot out of her body so quickly that I barely caught it before it slid off the seat onto the rear floor. I had her husband get my jacket from my cruiser and put the baby in it to keep her warm. Yup, a little girl. I took a quick look at the mother as she wanted to know if the baby was a boy or a girl. I told her she had a beautiful little girl, 10 toes, 10 fingers, and looked very healthy to me. I had her husband get back in their car and slowly follow me to Anaheim Community Hospital, where a team from the ER met us at the door and took her to a room to evaluate her and the baby while her husband checked her into the hospital. I'd radioed into my station as to what was going on as we drove to the hospital, so my sergeant met me at the hospital to see how everyone was doing. As I was leaving, a nurse handed me my jacket in a big plastic trash bag and said I should get it cleaned ASAP. Because it was a little messed up. When I came in the next day for work, the couple's OB had called to tell my chief that I had done a good job with tying off the umbilical cord and that the baby and mother were fine. One of the many things I learned during the time I was an officer is there are no routine patrols, and that some days are going to be more memorable than others. This was one of them, and still one of the best for me. Larry. 59.7K views, view 3.6K upvoters, view sharers. About the author. Larry Whalen. Former California peace officer and EMT. Former police officer, special officer, EMT. Studied 3 years of junior college. Majoring in admin. Of justice and caliph. Law. 752K content views, 102.7K this month. View 100 plus other answers to this question. About careers, privacy, terms, contact. Article 22 of 133. Quora. Open an app. Sign in. What is the best case if you just picked a fight with the wrong person that you've witnessed? Jonathan Cole. Updated August 19, 2019, upvoted by Charles Yates, J.D. Law, Western New England College School of Law, 1988, and Karen Mackey, J.D. Law, University of Nebraska-Lincoln, 1994. Author has 216 answers and 178K answer views. A couple years ago, some idiot teenagers came up with a game called Nutcracker. The premise is very simple: punch someone in the balls at random and then run like a bitch. They hadn't been caught because, up until the event of this story, everyone they punched was unable to fight back, on account of just getting nut cracked. Well, everyone has a different tolerance for pain, and every guy reacts to a nut crunch differently. This guy did not immediately go down. He was of the variety where the pain of getting punched in the balls isn't immediate, but you got about 10 seconds to get to a toilet and sit down cause it's gonna hurt like hell and you might temporarily lose bladder control. This kid used the 10 seconds to start swinging. Apparently, the cracker gang had never learned how to hit anything besides a nutsack because an overweight, physically slow teenager the guy had at least a foot on, put his ass on the floor, broke his nose, blacked his eyes, and field goal kicked him in the balls. That overweight teenager was me, and I feel no shame in admitting I pissed myself when it was over, because the other guy couldn't get up for 2 hours and was pissing blood for a month. Wrong nutsack buddy. Florida man, over and out. Edit, holy hell, my first 1K. Haven't seen these numbers since the story about a school trying to expel me for wanting to do my homework. Thanks guys. Edit, 1.9K upvotes. Apparently y'all like these stories. 40.8K views, view 3.5K upvoters, view sharers. About the author. Jonathan Cole. 178.4K content views, 33.3K this month. View 100 plus other answers to this question. About careers, privacy terms, contact. Article 23 of 133. Quora. Open an app. Sign in. What was the strangest way a criminal was caught? Ross Keeling, Assistant Attorney General. Answered November 7, 2019. Author has 546 answers and 34.6K answer views.
Should be getting pretty close to
Once a criminal
now.
defendant was standing in the courtroom and decided there was nothing between him and the door, and he decided to try to escape, so he bolted out the door and ran down the street. The judge was a pretty good runner, and a former member of the local SWAT team, and he ran out of the courtroom after him and chased him down the street. The suspect hid under a trailer house, and the judge and the bailiff and a couple of the local police officers eventually got him out from under the trailer house unharmed, and took him back to the courthouse. 519 views, view 19 upvoters. Answer requested by Peter Gorner. About the author. Ross Keeling. Assistant Attorney General Present. JD from University of North Dakota School of Law, graduated 2009. Lives in Jefferson City, Missouri. Present. 34.6K content views, 3.1K this month. View 100 plus other answers to this question. About careers, privacy terms, contact. Article 24 of 133. Here are the most accurate S&P 500 predictions of the year so far. MarketWatch. The U.S. benchmark S&P 500 stock index has marched steadily higher throughout 2019, ducking and dodging manifold geopolitical headwinds, including the U.S.-China trade war, Brexit, and kinetic conflicts in the Middle East, as well as a stalling out of corporate earnings growth, but it is still on pace for its best calendar year performance since 2013. Forecasting the performance of the stock market in such an environment is an unenviable task, as analysts have very little history to draw on to predict the effects of a trade war between the world's two largest economies. Intermittent pullbacks, triggered by unease over Federal Reserve policy or the international trade dispute, were scattered through the year, with the S&P 500 index SPX plus 0.27% falling 6.6% from April 30th to June 3rd, 5.2% between July 26th and August 27th, and 4.0% between September 19th and October 2. Each of the retrenchments were catalyzed by macroeconomic concerns such as fear of a Federal Reserve that would not be accommodative enough to shield the U.S. economy from the effects of President Trump's erratic trade protectionism. In other words, there have been plenty of opportunities for bullish strategists to turn bearish or vice versa. Here are 15 of the top strategists on Wall Street ranked by the proximity of their year-end targets to the S&P 500's current record level, as of Thursday's close of 3,085.18. Where strategists gave a range, MarketWatch used the midpoint. In early November, the bulls have the upper hand, and it's clear that most on Wall Street have not expected the stock market to be as resilient as it has been, but with 7 weeks left in the year, there is plenty of time for bears to win the day. Market Watch. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation. Comment. Related topics. U.S. stocks. Markets. NY Stock Exchange. NASDAQ. Article 25 of 133. Stray puppy most likely dropped by a bird turns out to be rare endangered dingo. The Independent. Weeks after a stray puppy was discovered in a backyard in rural Australia, DNA tests revealed that the furry creature is not a dog at all but an Australian alpine dingo. The news was a welcome surprise for conservationists. Australian alpine dingoes are an endangered species vulnerable to extinction because of inbreeding, hunting and government eradication programs, according to the Australia and Pacific Science Foundation. The dingo pup, since named Wendy, was discovered in the backyard of a resident in Wandellongong, a rural town in the Australian state of Victoria in August, the Australian Dingo Foundation announced Thursday. Wendy was later moved to the Dingo Foundation's sanctuary while results of a DNA test were pending. Lynn Watson, who directs the Australian Dingo Foundation, told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation that of the 3 types of Australian dingoes, which include inland and tropical, alpine dingoes like Wendy are the only ones currently in danger of extinction. For us, he is going to be a very valuable little thing depending on his eventual development and the way he continues to get along with everybody else in the sanctuary, Ms. Watson said. The rarity of receiving a purebred as a pup means Wendy could eventually become part of the sanctuary's breeding program, which includes about 40 other adult dingoes, according to CNN. Experts say most dingoes in the island country are dog-dingo hybrids, Australian Geographic noted in a 2011 article about the potential extinction of purebred dingoes. Nowhere on the east coast of Australia can you find a dingo population that isn't at least 50%, and in some cases 80%, domestic dog. Ricky Spencer, an associate professor of zoology at the University of Western Sydney, told the magazine at the time. David Attenborough's 7 Worlds, 1 Planet is dazzling and vital. The unnamed resident who discovered Wendy heard the pup hiding and crying in the garden, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation reported. The resident initially thought Wendy was a stray dog or a fox and soon took him to Beck Day, a local veterinarian. Wendy's original journey may have ended with him being dinner for an eagle or other bird of prey. Instead, the young pup was likely dropped from its Cactus talons, Ms. Day told ABC, noting what appeared to be claw marks on Wendy's back. There were no other pups nearby, Ms. Day said. The resident hadn't heard any other dingoes calling. So he was just a lonely little soul sitting in a backyard. The Washington Post. Article 26 of 133. 11-year-old boy allegedly assaulted by adult male near Eagle Ranch Park in Victorville. VVNG.com, yesterday. Victorville, Caleb. VVNG.com, the Victorville Police Department is investigating an incident where an 11-year-old boy was allegedly assaulted by an adult male. The Victorville Police Department posted about the incident, which happened on Tuesday, November 5, 2019. Our deputies responded to a call of an 1-year-old student of Mesa Linda Middle School who had not arrived home at his normal time, after school. The boy was found located a short time later and reunited with his parents, stated the Post. According to a Facebook post from the boy's family, the child was found in his underwear and all he remembers is being punched in the face by a slim white male with dark hair on the walking paths just behind Eagle Ranch Park. Sheriff's officials confirmed they are looking into the report that the child was assaulted by an unknown male. The investigation is ongoing and anyone with information is asked to contact Detective M. Plachencha at the Victorville Police Department, 760-241-2911. To follow updates to this article and more, join our news group on Facebook with over 127,000 members, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Article 27 of 133. Quora. Open an app. Sign in. Have you ever snapped at a rude customer and gotten away with it? Lace Neal, studied University of Life at School of Hard Knocks. Answered November 8, 2019. I worked at a pizza takeaway for a few months while I looked for a better job, and the amount of rude and entitled customers was staggering. Luckily, the owner had our back, which makes all the difference in retail. This particular incident happened on a Saturday morning. My coworker and I had done all the prep and were taking orders, but the driver was late. Just as we were getting worried, his dad walked into the shop and informed us that the driver was in hospital after being knocked off his motorbike by a drunk driver. We were shocked and horrified, and while my coworker called the owner to explain the situation and try and get another driver to come in, I called all the customers who had ordered to explain what had happened and that their orders would be late. Most were understanding and expressed concern for the driver, not this one customer who I will from now on refer to as Bitchface. Bitchface proceeded to screech at me, saying that it was her kid's birthday party and we had to get her order to her right now or else, and we should give it to her for free cause of the inconvenience, etc. Not a shred of concern or pity for the poor driver lying in a hospital bed. Bitchface only cared about herself. I lost it and told her, interrupting her tirade, "You know what? You can stick your order up your ass cause I'm canceling it," and slammed the phone down. I didn't get into trouble after Bitchface complained to the owner, cause I called him up after and explained the situation, and he was just as shocked and disgusted by Bitchface's callousness as I was, and basically told her to get stuffed. Oh, and the driver was okay, he escaped the accident with a broken collarbone. 156 views, view 3 upvoters. About the author. Lace Neal. Studied University of Life at School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, she got what she deserved.
Lives in
there.
somewhere in England present. Knows English. View 100 plus other answers to this question. About careers, privacy terms, contact. Article 28 of 133. Answer, Quora. Quora. Open in app, sign in. What is it like to have an extremely high IQ? Axel Van Calden. Answered November 8, 2019.
This is just went to the city there.
I had my
Right about
IQ measured
Trump
almost
over
3
there.
years ago and it was somewhere around 145, what puts me in the top 2% of human population and makes a potential member of Mensa, but I never really wanted to get there. Such an intelligence has its good and bad sides, like almost everything else. What's the most surprising? Even I cannot clearly decide whether I like it or not. Sometimes I really hate it and I wish I was more regular when it comes to this. The brutal truth is that wisdom and knowledge give you suffering. I will tell you the most relevant things about my life. I spend my entire time at home, when I'm not at school, of course, mainly reading, studying, meditating and taking care of my windowsill greenhouse. I'm not interested in parties, concerts or just hanging out with others while everyone else indeed is. That's one of the main problems. I find most things and activities pointless when there is no valuable purpose. Fun itself is not a purpose. I read on average 3 or 4 relatively vast books a week. I gain so much knowledge from them, but it's mainly pretty depressing. I can discover such beautiful stories that I would never imagine myself, but also read things worse, the worst nightmares, including global warming and our possible extinction, diseases, 4 books just about cancer, darknet stuff, the things which good people can't even think of, rising neo-fascism in my country, fossil fuels lobbies. I can have my mind preoccupied for 3 days, when I can't find an answer for one question in the field on neurobiology. I have many unpopular opinions, which are purely reasonable and fully logical, but would make me in trouble if I ever spoke them aloud in public. People prefer to hear their heart, not mine. That's why my essays at school can't be published in students' newspaper. Somebody once told me, "You are totally right in this article, but people couldn't handle the truth about the condition and future of our civilization. Most concepts I think about are misunderstood, considered improbable and weird. Some of them are biological immortality, extraterrestrial intelligence, consumptionism, or even intelligence itself. There are very few people around me who like thinking about abstract things. I'm probably the only one in my class who really enjoys more advanced mathematics. The rest of my classmates just want to know how to make a bank transfer. I also can do it, but it doesn't give me satisfaction, and calculus does. I have no right to fail. I get mostly very good grades, almost only them, but I can succeed in every subject the best possible. Everybody is so amazed and a horrible silence covers the class. When I get lower grades, nobody cares if I was ill and slept just 1 hour the night before the test. People expect more from me. Such a university. It's a shame for you to consider it. You have the potential to study wherever you want, said teacher. And then I start to expect more from myself. I prefer to just listen to others. I speak little and some people think that I have an autism, when I haven't. Just sacrifice some speech to get more informations through my ears. I'm considered emotionless because I trained myself to contain any negative feelings. It is pointless to be sad, angry, to cry or argue. It solves nothing. I do have feelings but don't want to let them go outside, and most people find this something strange. 434 views, view 6 upvoters.
County Road R.
Open an app. About careers, privacy terms, contact. Article 29 of 133. CBS 13 on air. Body found at Central California mountain base matches description of missing man November 8, 2019 at 6:47 a.m. Filed under Kings Canyon National Park. Kings Canyon National Park, AP, authorities say a man found dead in California's Kings Canyon National Park matches the description of a missing hiker. The National Park Service says searchers discovered the body Thursday on a glacier at the base of Mount Darwin in the eastern Sierra Nevada. Investigators will determine whether it's 40-year-old Alan Stringer. His family reported him missing on Monday. The peak named for Charles Darwin is in a remote and scenic section of the national park where several mountains are named for promoters of the theory of evolution. Copyright 2019 The Associated Press. Visit full site. Copyright 2019 CBS Broadcasting Inc. All rights reserved. Powered by WordPress.com VIP. By viewing our video content, you are accepting the terms of our video services policy. Privacy policy terms of use. Your California Privacy Rights Mobile User Agreement at
Come on.
Privacy policy terms of use. Your
Hey, just getting into Dumas right now. Make up your mind. It's going to be 65 or 70 miles an hour. And once again to the Loves on the north end of Dumas, it's only about 10 miles past that to get to the shipper. I think it's right out at 10 or 11 miles, I forget. I remember measuring it before. Number of trucks parked over here at Walmart. Welcome to Dumas. Yeah, a whole bunch of them here. side stay green. Bicycle on the other side. Vicky's barbecue pits. Now, of course, Highway 152 would be stopped. 152 I've used before to get over to, went into Oklahoma through this highway. Taking over to like Sayre and Elk City area. Right up here on the right side. From there, it's 10 or 11 miles. Reset the wrong trip meter. I meant to reset my C trip and I accidentally reset the B one, which is what I usually use to gauge how many miles I've actually driven on the shift. ready till about I think 9 hours late, something like that. I was on a 10-hour break anyway, so it didn't matter to me, but yeah, it was still late. I mean, I was able to get it moving right away as soon as my break was done, but if I had hours to work with, it probably would have been a problem for me. getting into this lane when I need to be here. So I can see, we can see the plant right there on the left side. JBS beef plant, in case you're interested in knowing. Oh, they got a lot of drop trailers sitting in the staging lot. It must be pretty busy. And I see some trucks parked over there, but not too many. But what's up with these guys? Okay, yeah, actually a pretty good number of trucks sitting bobtail, so it's not a very promising sign when I see that. Bunch of them, including a JCT truck, so I have a feeling I might be waiting. Checked in. He probably just got told his load's ready. $39.87. Okay, let me go ahead and pick up info. Get my arrival call sent. Today's 16th, yeah. 0510 7375. Yeah, I also never got any emails, call comes from our people that are, my load's ready, so, but I'll be right back, I'll find out. just what I expected. It's not ready yet. When I see, it's got a cable stuck behind my red valve. When I see at least a good dozen or so bobtails parked across the street, it's usually a pretty good sign they're running behind. Okay, they have a wash rack here. I don't think that it'll be. I don't think there'll be a spot open there for me, but you know what? I forgot to change my status. I don't want to be creeping through here let's see, yard move. Come on. I don't want to burn drive time. I don't want to be doing 3 or 4 miles an hour in a lot just so I don't get put in drive mode either. Oh, actually there are a couple spots open on the wash rack. Hey, this trailer right in front of me is in the wash rack. There are 2 more spots to the left of it. So I'm going to do a U-turn here. Because tandems were actually rolling backward a little bit. I had to watch out there. Okay. Get my doors open and I'll back it my load's going to Carson. It's not ready yet. I'm going to drop it here in the wash rack and go across the street and wait. Oxnard, I like going out that way. Get that nice view of the ocean right there on US 101. On it. There we go. Back on it. Okay. Get disconnected. I'll be right back. bound up, so there we go. Yeah, because the way I do this, I drop my airbags before I disconnect. Tends to have that problem. That JCT truck's still over in the pickup line. Might go ask him how far behind schedule he is. I'm also going to look at how many JCT trailers are in the loaded line. The loaded line is this one right here and the next row over. And that row up against the fence is another row of empties. That's usually where dirties I get. Dirty empties get parked. He's already up there. He's already up there checking out, so. Do not see any. Oh, there's one JCT trailer sitting over here. We're on the right side. 5903. Yeah, that's the only one. Tyson mode's ready, heading to pickup. Cool. Let's see. On to San Diego and then okay, so yeah, I probably won't cross paths then. Okay, he's getting ready to send his departure call. He just set his brakes. Okay, it'll clear both ways. Yeah, that's a lot of trucks parked here. Come over here next to Raider Express. My drive tires past him first. Oh, hard left back. Well, not that hard. Now I can go hard back. send a message to our. Oh, damn it, wrong button. Let me get my message sent out to our dispatch, let them know my load's that I'm checked in, but the load's not ready. Shipper will give me a call whenever they're ready to go. I'm guessing I might be here several hours, so I'll probably end up stopping the feed until I know I'm ready to pick up, and then may or may not broadcast. I don't know. Depends. Yeah, actually, because it's starting to get toward daytime, or it will be. So I probably will do that. Checked in at shipper. Load not ready. How late are the other JCT drivers here leaving beyond their DDTs? Yeah, probably should have jumped out and asked that guy how late he is, but yeah, it's alright. I see at least a couple other JCT trucks here. I see a bobtail facing the same way I am, right over there on the other side of that JBS trailer. And there was another one, a white one, facing at me in that same row over there. So I know at least two of us here. Not to mention, like I say, see all these other bobtails here. It's always the classic sign that they're running behind. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the feed. Check out my video that was compiling while it was still in the middle of compiling while I was driving. And if it's done compiling, I should see that would be the one where I was delivered to Walmart yesterday in Plainview. I'll be posting that one where it's a little more focused on just that part of the of what I was doing yesterday. And it'll just be when I'm on I-27 shortly before I get to the receiver, and then my time at the receiver. That's it. I just want to make it easier for people to find where the actual customer, and it can be useful for other drivers too. That's the way I see it. Maybe someone's new to the company or new to this that particular facility. They can watch the video and get an idea how it's laid out, how things work, and all that before they actually go. And not to mention, I had a really good backing video in there with that too. So you have a really nice view with the dash cam, because I have both front and backward view on it. And the setup went really well. So I had to do a little bit of a pull up, but only because of the fact I couldn't chase the trailer the entire time, because I had to watch the front of my tractor to make sure it wasn't going to hit the trailers across the lane for me. So if you're that should be good watching material there. He's leaving. But alright, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and end this now, and I guess I'll get the feed going back up again when I'm ready to get out of here. Alright, thanks for watching.